Hi friends, welcome to our new video. So in today's lecture we are going to see what is exchange rate. As a global economy, we need currencies of different nations to satisfy our day-to-day requirements because each countries are doing international trade with some another country to buy or sell goods and services. So the we have to exchange our currency with the currency of the other country. There comes the importance of exchange rate in our day-to-day life. Let's see the definition of exchange rate. Exchange rate is the rate at which one currency exchanges for another. Otherwise, it is the price of one currency in terms of other country's currency. So we can say exchange rate is the price of one currency in terms of other country's currency. Let's see an example. 1 US dollar is equal to 75.20 Indian rupees. It means 75.20 Indian rupee we have to pay to get $1. So the price of $1 in Indian rupee is 75.20. So what is exchange rate? It is the price of one currency in terms of other countries' currency. There are various forms of exchange rate that are fixed exchange rate, flexible exchange rate, and managed floating exchange rate. So in today's class, we will be discussing in detail what is flexible exchange rate, otherwise known as floating exchange rate system. Here, in this particular type of exchange rate, the price of one currency is determining through the demand and supply of currency in the foreign exchange market. So in the floating exchange rate system, the price or the exchange rate is determining through interaction of demand for and supply of currency in the foreign exchange market. Let's see an example. In this particular diagram, we can see downward sloping demand curve for dollar and upward sloping supply curve of dollar. It is at equilibrium point 0.89. Let's see the explanation. The demand curve is downward sloping and it represents the demand for dollars by people in European Union. So that is the downward sloping demand curve shows the demand of dollars in European Union. The supply curve is the upward sloping and represent the supply of dollars from US. Demand for dollars from European Union and supply of dollars from home country, that is US. So it interact at a particular point and it's determining the exchange rate, that is 0.89. It means $1 is equal to euro 0.89. So the interaction of or intersection of demand to supply of currency in the foreign exchange market will decide the equilibrium rate of exchange rate as per floating exchange rate. The value of currency in a floating exchange rate regime rises, that is known as appreciation of currency. When the value of currency increasing in a foreign exchange market, it means appreciation of currency, and if the value of currency is falling, that is known as depreciation of currency. Reasons for exchange rate changes in exchange rate. So what are the different reasons for changes in exchange rate? Let's see one by one. Foreign demand for countries export, that is, if there is an increased demand for our export in foreign market, will lead to an increase in currency value, because to buy our product other countries need our currency. It will increase the exchange rate of that particular country, or otherwise we can say that it will lead to an appreciation of currency, and vice versa. That is, if the demand for our export is less in the market, in the international market, will lead to fall in exchange rate, or it will lead to depreciation of currency. Then second point is domestic demand for import. That is, to import goods and services from abroad, we need currency of some another country. That is from where we are importing the product. That country's currency we need. In that case, what will happen? It will lead to what? A fall in the exchange rate. That is, if we are demanding more of other countries' currency or other countries' product, it will increase the demand of that country's currency, and at the same time it will depreciate our home country's currency value. So it will lead to a change in exchange rate. And the third factor, relative interest rate. That is, if the interest rate are fluctuating in a country, it will also affect the exchange rate. That is, if the interest rate is more, foreign investors will come and invest in our market. And at the same time, if the interest rate is less, foreign investors will withdraw their investment from our financial institutions. So when the interest rate is more, it will lead to an increase in exchange rate, because other countries investors will demand our currency more. It will lead to an increase in interest rate and vice versa. Then inflation rate. Inflation rate is another important factor which influencing the exchange rate. An increase in the price of goods and services caused by domestic inflation will lead to a decrease in demand for export. It will lead to a fall in the exchange rate, and vice versa. Another factor which influencing exchange rate is what? Investment from overseas in a country's firms, such as foreign direct investment. When there is more foreign direct investment, it will help the country to increase the exchange rate, because to do foreign direct investment, country needs other countries investors need that particular country's currency. It will lead to an increase in the exchange rate due to an increased demand from investors. The next reason is speculation. Speculation is a method of making profit from exchange rate differences. A favorable speculation, that is, in the coming future, if the investors are expecting an increase in the exchange rate, they will buy currencies now. It will help to increase the exchange rate of a country's currency. Advantages of floating exchange rate. First advantage is automatic balance of payment adjustment. So in flexible exchange rate, we know the exchange rate is correcting automatically in the market according to demand and supply of currencies. So automatic corrections will help the country to correct balance of payment disequilibriums over a period of time. The next advantage is lower foreign exchange reserves. That is, a country with a fixed exchange rate usually has to hold large amount of foreign currency in order to prepare for a time when they have to defend that fixed X rate. That is, we have to always hold a fixed amount of foreign currencies in fixed exchange rate to adjust the fluctuations in the market. But in the case of floating exchange rate system, we can lower the foreign exchange reserve with us because the market is fluctuating. The next we are going to see what are the disadvantages of floating exchange rate. First disadvantage is uncertainty. That is, in floating exchange rate, there is an uncertainty regarding the exchange rate. Every now and then, the market will be volatile. In this case, it will affect the performance of the business as well as it will create uncertainty among them. Other factors, let's see, in floating exchange rate are affected by more factors than simple demand and supply, such as government intervention and speculations. So because of this reason, we can't predict what are the factors which is going to influence the exchange rate. It is not only the demand and supply. There are many other factors which also are influencing the exchange rate. So let's see some floating exchange currencies: sterling, Australian dollars, New Zealand dollars, Polish zloty. So these are the zloty. So these are the some exchange this flexible exchange rate currencies we have around. So thank you. So in coming class we will be seeing what is fixed exchange rate and managed floating exchange rate. If you have any further doubt, please comment me. I will try to clarify it. Okay, thank you. Have a great day.